Feeling stressed about the new changes for international students in Australia in 2024? We get it. Studying abroad can be a whirlwind of excitement and challenges. And when you add changes in regulations to the mix, it can seem quite overwhelming. But don't worry. We are here to help you navigate through these changes so you can focus on what really matters: your education. The year 2024 brings with it a slew of updates that could affect your study plans in Australia. From changes in work hours to new financial requirements, it's crucial to stay informed and prepared. But remember, the key to understanding these changes is to get your information from reliable sources. Trustworthy information is your best defense against unnecessary stress and misinformation. The Department of Home Affairs website is your go-to source for all things related to studying in Australia. This is where you'll find the most accurate and up-to-date information. So if you're feeling confused or unsure about any changes, head straight to their website. It's always better to get the facts directly from the source than to rely on hearsay or unverified information. But watch out for traps. There are unscrupulous agents out there who might try to take advantage of your uncertainties. They promise easy solutions and shortcuts, but remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So, steer clear of these dodgy agents and stick to official channels for all your information and queries. In the upcoming minutes, we will delve into some of the major changes that are set to come into effect in 2024. We'll discuss what these changes mean for you, how they might affect your plans, and what you can do to prepare for them. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand these changes, the better equipped you'll be to navigate your way through them. Stay tuned for some of the major changes that could affect your study plans. First on our list of changes is a revision to the work hours for international students. This alteration took effect from the 1st of July 2023, and it's important to understand how it might impact your study and work balance. Previously, students who began their courses in 2023 had a generous 6 months after their arrival in Australia where they could work full-time. However, this rule has been modified. Now, international students are restricted to only 48 hours of work per fortnight while their study is in session. Of course, during official school break times, there's the freedom to work unlimited hours. But it's crucial to remember that while your studies are ongoing, you must abide by the 48-hour work rule. And this rule applies whether you work on a tax file number or an Australian business number. There are, however, some exemptions to this rule. For instance, students who were already employed in certain sectors before the 9th of May could continue working full-time until the 31st of December 2023. But even their full-time work hours will come to an end on that date. They too will have to abide by the 48 hours per fortnight work rule from the 1st of January 2024. But here's some good news for research students. Those who are pursuing research-based courses, like Masters by Research or PhDs, can continue to work unlimited hours as per the previous work conditions. So, in a nutshell, the work hours for international students have seen a significant change. It's important to plan your study and work schedules accordingly to ensure a healthy balance and to stay in line with these new rules. Keep in mind, the 48 hours per fortnight work rule applies from the 1st of January 2024. What about the dependents of international students? What changes are in store for them? This is a question that's been on the minds of many, and today, we're here to provide some clarity. For those who may not know, dependents refers to the family members of student visa holders who have come to Australia with them. This could include a spouse, a child, or any other person who is financially dependent on the student. One of the major changes that's been implemented recently pertains to work hours. Similar to the students themselves, the dependents of student visa holders are also limited in how much they can work. They are restricted to 48 hours of work per fortnight. That's roughly 24 hours per week. This change applies to all dependents, regardless of whether they work on a tax file number or an Australian business number. However, there are some exceptions. If the dependent is accompanying a student who is studying a master's degree, either by coursework or by research, or a PhD course, they can work unlimited hours. That's right, there's no limit on how much they can work. This exception was in place even before the pandemic rules came into effect, and it continues to hold true. But what does this mean for the dependents of all other student visa holders? Well, they must abide by the 48 hours per fortnight work limit. There are no exceptions or exemptions for them. So, if you're a dependent of a student visa holder who's not studying a master's or PhD course, this rule applies to you. This change is significant and can impact the financial situation of many international students and their dependents. Therefore, it's crucial to understand these changes and plan accordingly. Remember, the 48 hours per fortnight work limit applies to dependents of all other student visa holders as well. So, if you're planning to accompany a student to Australia, keep this in mind and make sure to adhere to these rules. Another important update concerns the financial requirements for international students. The Australian government has always emphasized that students who wish to study in the country should be able to financially support themselves. This ensures that students can focus on their studies, manage their cost of living, and not become a burden on the country's resources. Now, it's important to note that, from the 1st of October, 2023, there has been a significant increase in the financial capacity requirements for international students. Previously, students applying for a visa were required to demonstrate savings of $21,041. However, due to the increase in the cost of living in Australia, the government has raised this amount to $45,500. The reasons behind this change are manifold. Firstly, it's to ensure that students are financially prepared to manage the expenses associated with living and studying in Australia. This includes tuition fees, accommodation, food, transportation, and other day-to-day expenses. Secondly, it's to mitigate any potential financial strain on Australian resources. The government wants to ensure that international students are self-sufficient and not reliant on public funds. This change has significant implications for students planning to study in Australia in 2024. In addition to planning your studies and preparing for life in a new country, you now need to ensure that you have the necessary financial capacity. You need to plan your finances carefully, save diligently, and perhaps even explore options for financial aid or scholarships. In some cases, you may need to provide evidence of your financial capacity, such as bank statements or a letter from your financial institution. This change may seem daunting, but remember that it's all part of ensuring that your experience as an international student in Australia is as smooth and stress-free as possible. So if you plan to apply for a visa in 2024, be prepared to demonstrate a greater financial capacity. It's not just about getting the visa, it's about ensuring that you have a successful and enjoyable study experience in Australia. So, what do all these changes mean for you as an international student? Well, first and foremost, it means that you'll have to adjust your work schedules. No longer will the luxury of full-time work hours be available for the first 6 months. Instead, you'll have to adhere to a maximum of 48 hours per fortnight during study sessions. This change comes into effect in January 2024, so the sooner you can adapt to this new rule, the better. For those of you pursuing research-based courses like Masters by Research or PhDs, you're in luck. The new work rules won't apply to you, and you can continue to work unlimited hours. Similarly, if you're a dependent of someone studying their Masters or PhD, you too can work unlimited hours. The second major change pertains to financial requirements. The bar has been raised, and you will now need to demonstrate a greater financial capacity to study in Australia. This means you'll have to show proof of at least $4,550 in savings. This change reflects the rising cost of living in Australia and is something you'll have to factor into your plans. These changes may seem daunting, but remember, they are designed to ensure that you, as an international student, can sustain yourself and make the most of your study experience in Australia. It's essential to stay informed and understand these changes fully. Don't rely solely on third-party agents. While they can provide guidance, it's crucial to verify information with official sources. The Department of Home Affairs website is your go-to source for the most accurate and up-to-date information. In conclusion, these changes represent a new chapter for international students in Australia. It's a chapter that requires adaptability, financial planning, and above all, a keen understanding of the rules. But don't let these changes deter you. Embrace them, plan accordingly, and continue to pursue your educational dreams in the land down under. Remember, Always check the Department of Home Affairs website for the most accurate information. Stay informed and make the most of your study experience in Australia in 2024.